Hi, good morning. It's Councillor Glen, and I'm in Jackson Trails today on Stittsville Main Street in front of St. Stephen's Schools. There's a school safety zone behind me, and that's why I wanted to come here. We're still getting a lot of emails from parents with concerns about school zones, the drop-off, the pickup after school. There's a few schools in particular. I want to just give a few reminders or requests to residents if you're driving through the school zones, whether it's to drop a kid off at school or whether you're just passing through. First of all, please slow down, pay attention to what's going on around you. Follow the directions of the crossing guards in particular. When they're crossing the street with that stop sign, you need to stop just like any other stop sign. Obey the signage around parking. If there's a no parking sign or a no stopping sign, please do what the sign says. The other one is U-turns. On a lot of the school zones, there's no U-turns because U-turns can cause some congestion. It can also cause a dangerous situation. So please respect those signs so we can keep kids safe on their way to school. The other thing for parents, I've been out and about every once in a while. I go out and observe one of the school zones. I was over on Hartsmere the other day. One thing I did notice was still a lot of people parking super close to the school. One of the things you can do to help with congestion and safety is to park a few blocks away. I know there's a lot of parents who do this, and it really is a big help to improve the traffic situation around school. So just park a few blocks away in a legal spot and walk, 4 or 5 minutes with your kids. You get a little bit of exercise on top of it. So a good tip. I've got a bunch of things to talk about. I do want to talk about vaccines because we got a big update, but I'll save that to the end. I want to go through some local things first. Number one is on Monday evening, we have Dr. Nick Stowe. He's a biologist with the city, and he's going to be giving a webinar for Stittsville residents about coyotes, living with coyotes. They are frequent now. Apparently it's coyote mating season. I go out for a walk around my neighborhood every night around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And the last 2 nights, I've seen a coyote near my house. I saw one going down Lavesh. Looks like he was heading between Bandmaster Park and Parleville Park. And I saw another one running right down in front of Bandmaster Park last night. So he had absolutely no interest in me. Was just running from point A to point B. But we're going to talk about coyotes, what you can do to discourage coyotes from coming into our neighborhoods. What you should do if you feel threatened by a coyote. And so we're going to learn all about that on Monday evening. There's information on my website, and it's 10 o'clock on Monday. We've been dealing a lot with snow clearing this week, a couple big dumps of snow. You've probably seen, maybe you haven't, some neighborhoods have had snow removal happening where they take the big snowbanks out. This is done overnight, it's done during the day. Usually there's signs that go in place beforehand warning about no parking while that's underway. So thanks to residents who've moved their cars during the snow removal operation, it makes a big difference. If your street hasn't been reached yet, we'll be getting to you soon. So thank you for your patience on that one. If ever you think your road hasn't bbeen cleared, call 311. Give it some time. Usually in a snowstorm it can take 12 hours, and for a big snowstorm it can take longer. But if you're looking at many hours since the end of a snowstorm and your street still has not been cleaned or the sidewalk that you use hasn't been cleared, please call 311. There are cases where for whatever reason the route may be forgotten. It doesn't happen often, but that's the best number to call, and you can get a case number and a service request dispatched to the roads team as soon as possible. We did try to get a priority on St. Stephen this week with the snow clearing, because we had an issue last week. And the other one on Fringewood, we did get we have a reminder into staff about clearing the paved shoulders as well, because I know a lot of people walk there. Another issue that came up this week was you may have received a letter in your mail about insurance for service lines for pipe and water that go into your home. I do want to, if you've seen that and you have questions, visit my website. I've posted a frequently asked questions list there. Your home insurance may already cover it, and the company that you got the letter from may not be or is not the only insurance company that will do it. It's also completely optional, and you may not even need it. You may decide you don't need it, but there's some information on my website about that one. I want to say thank you to residents who attended our construction meeting for Hazeldean Crossings, talking about blasting, talking about the road closure, talking about general construction. we have posted a summary of that call to my website. The other thing on my website this week is a great profile in our Making a Difference series. Every couple of weeks we profile a person or a group that's doing something to contribute positively to the community. And this week we shared a story about a couple of Sacred Heart students who are launching Stittsville Pride to raise some awareness and some support for LGBTQ in our community. So that's a great initiative, and please read all about it. And the last city update before I talk to vaccines and lose my voice is April e-break guide. So I guess we're not calling it March break, we're now calling it April break, and the city's running some virtual camps during April break, and you can find information at ottawa.ca. I think it's actually ottawa.ca/recreation. Okay, on vaccines, this is the last thing for today. City Council got an update on Wednesday morning from Dr. Vera Etches and Tony DeMonte. They are leading up Ottawa's vaccine task force. Starting this week, we're moving on to people 80 years old and up as part of the priority group. This is a big step forward. Now, Ottawa's starting with people 80 and up or who have chronic care issues, but who live in a specific set of neighborhoods. There are some neighborhoods, none of them in Stittsville, but in different parts of Ottawa, that for various reasons are seeing a much higher rate of transmission, hospital admittance, and death. So that is where we are focusing our efforts first. So you're going to see on Monday a public service announcement going out with information about the website and phone number that residents can use to book. But right now, it's very likely that there won't be people here. Well, it's people here in Stittsville will not be part of that first cohort of 80-year-olds because we are focusing on the highest risk groups to begin with. These are some neighborhoods that have had rates of transmission and hospitalization and death 5 to 17 times higher than the Ottawa average. So this is why we're focusing first there. We anticipate, as long as the vaccine supply is constant and steady, we anticipate that 80-year-olds and the general public across the city will be able to call and make an appointment in mid-March. It looks like every Monday morning there's going to be an announcement about the next group and who will be have access to the vaccines, numbers and website addresses to book. There's community clinics that are being set up right now to support that big shift in vaccines. The main one in Stittsville will be the Eva James Center. There's another one in the West End at the Queensway Carleton Hospital. And then there'll be some additional mobile and pop-up clinics that they can deploy in order to meet the demand. The other thing is that pharmacies will also be part of that distribution. So we'll be getting details about this on a weekly basis going forward. And I think I mentioned it last week, but in case I did not, all long-term care homes have received 2 doses, and all retirement homes in Ottawa and Stittsville have received at least their first dose. So that is really good news as well. And the other advice or request from Dr. Etches is to stay vigilant about doing all the right things for COVID-19, washing your hands, wearing a mask, physical distancing, and limiting your contacts with other people, keeping your trips outside to essential trips only. We're doing okay, but we're still in orange, and some numbers that say we could be heading back towards red territory, which would be some more closures and so on. So we don't want to go there. So please keep up what you're doing and do everything you can to help us stave off this transmission in our community. Okay, that's all I wanted to update you on today. Lots of updates. It's a little warmer today. I hope there's not rain still in the forecast. I know some of the local rinks have shut down temporarily, hopefully not for the season because of the warmer temperatures and the weather coming up. But I do hope you get out today for some exercise, maybe some cross-country skiing, visit a local rink, walk around the neighborhood. Watch your step, it's a bit icy today. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.